Hello crochet lovers, how are you? Welcome to Crochet Lovers, the channel where we learn to crochet step by step. Today we are on class 4 for our crochet challenge, this cute crochet doll. If you want to check out this challenge from the beginning, you can find all the previous classes on the pull down eye. And also in the written instructions posted on our blog. Let's go ahead and learn together how to make the arms and the underwear. We'll begin the arms with the slip stitch. We insert the hook and then chain 2. Remember that in the link below you can find the written instructions. In the central ring, which is the first chain, we'll make 8 single crochets. 1, 2, and so on until we have 8 stitches in that central ring. We set the marker at the beginning or the end of the row. And now for row 2, we make 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. And then we make 2 increases. 1 increase over here, which is 1 and 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And the next increase is 1 and 2 single crochets in the same hole. Now we need to repeat that sequence. 2 single crochets and then 2 increases. And that will be the end of row 2. I'm making the last increase now. We set the marker in the row change and we begin row 3 with 1 single crochet in each stitch available, which means 12 single crochets. This is how we'll make rows 3 and 4. They are the same. I'm on row 3 now, which calls for 1 single crochet in each stitch available, and then we make row 4, which is the exact same instructions. This is how it should look after row 4. We'll begin now row 5, so we start by making 5 single crochets, each of them in their own stitch. And now, in the 6th stitch available, we'll make 1 pineapple stitch, which needs 4 or 5 double crochets together. That will be our thumb. So we make a first attempt at a double crochet, and we just pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Now we make another attempt at a double crochet, and we just pull through the first 2 loops. Then the third attempt. We just pull through the first 2 loops. And the 4th attempt, which is the last for me because this got harder to do. And we just pull through the first 2 loops. We should have 5 loops on the hook, or 1 more than the attempts at a double crochets we made. And now we pull through all of those loops together in order to have our pineapple stitch. We chain 1 to close that stitch up, and after this we make 6 single crochets to finish this row 5. So we look for the stitch right next to our pineapple stitch. Sometimes it can be a little hidden. We make there 1 single crochet, which is the one that will shape our thumb by closing the previous stitch. And now we keep making the single crochets until we finish the row. This is how row 5 should look. And from this one until row 29, we'll just keep growing on a spiral by making 1 single crochet in each stitch available. It's not complicated at all. We just need to make 1 single crochet in each stitch available, and on top of the pineapple stitch we'll have 1 top loop to work on. After this, we ignore the chain we made to close it off, we go to the next stitch that's next to our pineapple stitch, and we keep crocheting there. We should always have 12 stitches when we count the top loops after we finish the row. From time to time, we need to stop and add the filling. The hand should be very full, and the rest of the arm can be less filled in. And we'll just keep growing in a spiral, making sure that the thumb always reaches the beginning of the legs. I'll make 29 rows until I get to the shoulder. You can make as many as you need. Like I said, the thumb should always be right where the legs start, and we'll use the shoulder as the reference for our arm's size. For me, it will be 29 rows, but the number can change for you. And at the end, we'll stitch together both sides of our arm with single crochets. In total, we'll make 5 single crochets in this last row. We will not add filling up to the brim so that the doll's arm has a lot of mobility. And at this point, we'll cut a somewhat long thread that we'll use to attach the arm to the body of our doll. We'll shape it a little to make the doll look like she's hugging you, and now it's ready to be attached. Of course, we need to make 2 arms. Try to have them made in the same size, and that they are as similar as possible. So now it's time to attach them. We have to locate the place where the angle changes, which is the shoulder. And that's where we'll start. I went through the stitches 3 times. This is my 3rd attempt. Because trust me, the arm is not very easy to attach even if it looks like it. We need to be very careful and keep the stitches straight even if there is a curve. So be very patient and try as many times as you need until it looks the way we want it to. Go through this with the needle a couple times after you set the arm correctly so that the stitches are firmly set. And that's it, crochet lovers. We have finished one more detail that will bring our doll a little bit more to life. Now we'll make the underwear. I'll be using the yarn Tencel Cotton from the brand Katia, which has some natural fibers and is very fresh. For this part, I'll use a 3mm hook. You can all use here any yarn and hook you wish, and this is why I will not give super exact instructions for this part. We'll make the clothes and underwear according to our own dolls. The first measure we'll take into account is from one side of the leg to the other. And then we make some chains. The measure should be from side to side, not just on top of the leg. It has to cover from one side to the other, in order to cover the entire leg. For my doll, I needed to make 8 chains. You make as many as you need with your yarn and your hook. And this measure will be named P number. Now, we'll make a number of chains for the approximated size of our inseam. For my doll's inseam, I think 2 is enough. And now, we repeat that P number for the other leg. For me, it's another 8 chains. You make as many as you need for your P number. And this is the front part of our underwear. So let's make the back. We repeat the P number in the same line of chains we're making. And now we go back twice the P number. For me, it's 16 chains. So I go back on them, and in the chain before the one we're on, for me it's chain number 17, we make 1 single crochet. This is the first stitch for the inseam. So we should complete it now with the number we previously made. For me it's 2, so I'll just make 2 single crochets in total. Then we make as many chains as our P number marks. For me it's 8. And now we'll look for the first chain we made. And in there we make 1 slip stitch in order to close our base row. So this is the base for our underwear. We can take a break right now to measure them and verify that they fit the legs properly, and also that they are neither very loose nor very tight. Now it's time to make a row around the base we made in order to go up. So we make 1 chain. And now we make 1 stitch in every stitch available. In this first one, we make 1 single crochet. We go to the second chain for another single crochet. And we keep going chain by chain, making those single crochets and using them to hide the thread with those stitches. And there will be a moment where we get to the chains of the inseam. So we make the single crochets at the other side of the chain. For me, it's 2 stitches, and we keep going in the leg area with 1 single crochet in each chain. Remember, it's just 1 single crochet in each chain available. We've gone all the way around and are back at the center of the other side. We're working now on the single crochets from that side. And we keep going on the other side of the leg, making those single crochet stitches until we get to the end. When we are at the end, we close the row with a slip stitch in the first single crochet we made. And we can measure again fully or just by laying the underwear over the doll. And we keep growing until we get to our doll's belly button. While we grow, we'll make some rows with increases according to the body of our doll. This will be done so that the underwear is a bit wider and that it fits our doll's waist. So I just made a row with no increases, just like the one I showed you. And whenever we want to make a row with increases, whenever we see the doll's body get wider, we chain 1, then 1 increase right where we are starting, in that corner. Remember, it's 2 single crochet stitches in the same stitch. And then we make single crochet stitches until we go to the next corner. We will not be making any more increases until we get to the next corner. And once we are on the other side, we make another increase, 1 and 2 single crochets in the same stitch, right at the corner. And then we close off this row. Keep in mind we make the increases if the body of our doll needs it. Now we just keep alternating rows with increases and rows without increases. For example, I'll make one without now. But don't worry, the size of the underwear is not really increasing too much. We'll just need 2 or 3 rows with increases on the way to the belly button. You have to decide how many. Remember that each doll is different. Each yarn for the cloth is 2. So we keep measuring it, and whenever you see it's too tight, just begin a new row with increases. I'm done now. I made 3 rows with increases until I got to the belly button. But it can be different for each of you. The rest of the rows were without increases. And when we get to a height that we're happy with, we'll just cut the yarn, remove the hook, and then we hide the thread inside the underwear. Well, it's time for my dolls to go take a nap. So I will be seeing you in next class. Crochet lovers, that's it for today. Now let's get crocheting those arms and the underwear. I'll see you next class when we learn to make the hair and the face for our doll. It's a very important class that you cannot miss out. And I will see you in the meantime on social media. Also, if you haven't already, it's a great idea to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to get all our notifications. I will see you very soon to learn together how to make the face and hair for our doll. But in the meantime, have a great day, crochet lovers!